Chapter 1. Blue Wednesday. On the first Wednesday of every month, the trustees of the John Grier Orphanage came to visit. Jerusha Abbott hated these days the most. She was the oldest orphan in the home. She had the responsibility to make sure everything was completely clean. She also had to clean every one of the 97 orphans. Today was one of those days. Now the day was over, and she was sitting down, thinking about the day. Mrs. Lippett, the matron, had kept Jerusha busy all day long. Jerusha looked out the window and watched the trustees driving through the orphanage gates. She was dreaming of driving away in a similar car when she heard a familiar voice.
Jerusha, you have to go to the office now.
It was Tommy Dillon. He was another orphan in the home. A feeling of panic went through Jerusha's body.
What did I do wrong?
She thought.
Weren't the sandwiches tasty enough? Oh my, was one of the orphans rude?
She was walking to Mrs. Lippett's office when she saw the back of a man. He cast a shadow on the hall. He had very long legs and arms, and his shadow looked just like a daddy long-legged spider. Jerusha entered the office. Mrs. Lippett immediately spoke. "Jerusha, I have news for you. Did you see the gentleman who has just left?"
I only saw his bag,
Jerusha replied. "He is one of our most important trustees. He told me not to tell you his name. He doesn't want you to know it."
Why is she telling me this?
Jerusha thought to herself. Mrs. Lippett continued. "Do you remember Charles Benton and Henry Fries? Well, this gentleman sent them and other boys to college. Until now, he has only chosen boys. He does not really like girls. However, at the meeting today, you were discussed. Now you are too old to stay at the orphanage. Normally, you would be expected to work, but considering your excellent grades, especially in English, this gentleman has offered to send you to college." Jerusha was stunned.
To college?
She said. "Yes, this gentleman thinks you have great talent and wants you to become a writer. He will pay your board and tuition for 4 years. He will also give you an allowance of $35 a month. In return, you must write a letter every month telling him of your progress. The letters will be written to Mr. John Smith. It is not his real name. He will not write back to you, so don't ask him any questions. You must always remember to have a respectful tone." Jerusha didn't know what to say. She was full of excitement. She just said,
"Yes, thank you, ma'am."
Then she left the room.
215 Ferguson Hall, September 24th. Dear kind trustee who sends orphans to college, I am finally here at college. I am so amazed by everything here. I still get lost whenever I go out. Later, I will give you a better description of the place. I don't begin classes until Monday, but I wanted to write a letter immediately. I've never written many letters before, so it seems strange to be writing one now. Before I left yesterday morning, Mrs. Lippett told me to always be very respectful to you. But how can I be when I don't know you? I only know 3 things about you. 1, you are tall. 2, you are rich. 3, you hate girls. Why do I have to call you Mr. John Smith? If I called you Dear Mr. Girl Hater or Dear Mr. Rich Man, that wouldn't be very nice. But what about Dear Daddy Longlegs? Do you mind? I hope it's all right with you. It's just a private pet name. We won't tell Mrs. Lippett. There goes the evening bell. Lights out. Good night, Daddy Longlegs. Yours most respectfully, Jerusha Abbott.
Chapter 2. College begins.
October 1st. Dear Daddy Longlegs, I am so happy to be here. I love you for sending me here. It is an amazing place. My room is high in a tower. There are 2 girls here with me. One is Sally McBride, who has red hair and a turned-up nose. The other is Julia Rutledge Pendleton. She comes from one of the wealthiest families in New York. I am so happy to have my own room after having had to share one with many others. This letter will be very short today. I'm hoping to get onto the basketball team. I know I'm not tall, but I am very quick. I can move faster than any of the other girls. I'll write you a longer letter next time. Wish me luck for the basketball team. Yours always, Jerusha Abbott. October 10th. Dear Daddy Longlegs, I furnished my room. I bought some yellow curtains, brown cushions, a mahogany desk, a cane chair, and a brown rug. It looks so much better now. I really like where I am living. I really like Sally McBride, but I don't like Julia Rutledge Pendleton. She never makes an effort to be friendly to me. I am studying many things like geometry, physiology, French, Latin, and English, which is my favorite. In fact, for my last English paper, my teacher said it was amazingly original. Isn't that great? Considering I grew up in a place which does not encourage originality. I know, I shouldn't say bad things about the orphanage. You know, no one knows I grew up in an orphanage. I don't want to be different from any of the other girls, although I told Sally McBride that my mother and father are dead. I told her a kind old gentleman is sending me to college. Now, that's true, isn't it? Oh, by the way, I've also changed my name to Judy, so please call me Judy from now on. Yours ever, Judy, formerly Jerusha Abbott. October 25th. Dear Daddy Longlegs, hooray! I got onto the basketball team. Julia Pendleton didn't, however. I have bruises all over my body. I love college so much. Everything is just getting better and better. I know I am not supposed to ask you any questions, but I have just one. What does a tall, rich, generous man who hates girls look like? Please answer this question. It is important to me. Yours, Judy Abbott. December 19th. Dear Daddy Longlegs, you never answered my question. Are you bald? I have an idea of what you look like, except your head. I can't decide whether you have black hair, white hair, or salt and pepper hair. Maybe you have none at all. I made a portrait of you. I think you look like this. Add picture. You seem to be just an angry old man. There are so many books that I need to read. All of the other girls have read all of the books I need to read. Christmas holidays begin next week. Another girl and I will be the only ones staying behind. I plan to do lots of reading for the whole 3 weeks of it. It will be wonderful. Yours always, Judy. P.S. Please tell me what you look like. Ask your secretary to send a telegram with either 1. Mr. Smith is quite bald. Or 2. Mr. Smith is not bald. Or 3. Mr. Smith has white hair. Exact date unknown. Dear Daddy Longlegs, it is snowing here and everything is blanketed in white. Thank you for the Christmas present. The 5 gold pieces were a big surprise, especially considering that you have done so much for me. Do you want to know what I bought? I bought a silver watch so I will always be on time. 500 sheets of yellow manuscript paper for when I become an author. A dictionary of synonyms to improve my vocabulary. Thank you so much for all of these presents. The holidays will be over in 2 days. It will be good to see everyone. It has become a little lonely here. Thank you for everything you have done for me. Yours with love, Judy. P.S. I hope you don't mind me sending love. I need someone to love, and you are the only person I know of. Sunday. Dear Daddy Longlegs, first, I have some great news. Jerusha Abbott has become an author. My poem, From My Tower, will appear in the February monthly. I will send you a copy of it. Isn't that great? I've been doing so many other things as well. I've learned how to skate. I can now skate around without falling down. Also, in gym, I can slide down a rope from the top of the gym, and I learned to vault a bar 3 feet and 6 inches high. It was very scary at first, but now I do everything very easily. Well, I have some bad news too. I hope you are in a good mood. I failed mathematics and Latin, but I'm being tutored in them now. Please forgive me. I promise I will not fail again. I've learned so many other things, and I've read 17 novels and lots of poetry. Mathematics and Latin aren't everything. Yours, Judy. May 27th. Dear Daddy Longlegs, I just received a letter from Mrs. Lippett. She told me I could go back to the orphanage and work during the summer. I hate the John Grier home. I would prefer to die. Yours most honestly, Jerusha Abbott.
Chapter 3. Master Jervie.
May 30th. Dear Daddy Longlegs, this campus is gorgeous in May. Everything is in bloom. Everyone is outside enjoying the fine weather. We have examinations soon, but no one is thinking about them. Vacation will be here soon. I'm so happy too. I am going to work really hard this summer and become a great author. I have some other news for you. I have been spending time with a very nice man. He is a man of superior quality. He is Mr. Jervis Pendleton of the House of Julia. He is her very tall uncle. He was in town on business and decided to visit Julia. But she was in class and asked me to walk around the campus with him. He is not like the other Pendletons at all. He is such a kind man. He is tall and thin with the funniest smile. I felt very comfortable with him. We walked all around the campus and then had tea and muffins and marmalade and ice cream and cake at the College Inn. It was the best time. But then he had to run and catch his train. Julia was angry with me for taking him the whole time. It seems he is an extremely wealthy uncle. And this morning, Julia, Sally, and myself all received surprises. A box of chocolates each. I really don't feel like an orphan anymore. Yours always, Judy. June 9th. Dear Daddy Longlegs, my examinations are finally over. I'm excited about spending 3 months on a farm. Thank you so much for sending me there instead of the orphanage. I've never been on a farm before, but I know I will love Lock Willow. Yours ever, Judy. Saturday night. Dear Daddy Longlegs, I am here at the farm. It is the most wonderful, heavenly place. I really like Mr. and Mrs. Semple. They are the owners of the farm. Tonight we had ham, eggs, biscuits, honey, jelly cake, pie, pickles, cheese, and tea. We all talked so much. It's 8:30 p.m. now. I can't wait to go and explore tomorrow. Good night, Judy. July 12th. Dear Daddy Longlegs, how does your secretary know about Lock Willow? It's very strange because Mr. Jervis Pendleton used to own the farm. What a coincidence! Then he gave the farm to Mrs. Semple, who was once his nurse. She often talks about how sweet Master Jervie used to be. It is my job to collect the eggs. Yesterday I fell off a beam trying to collect the eggs. There are so many chickens, pigs, and turkeys here. There are 5 calves that I have named Sylvia, Sally, Julia, Judy, and Daddy Longlegs. I hope you don't mind. Daddy Longlegs looks like this. I would love to send you some donuts that I have made. Yours always, Judy. September 25th. Dear Daddy Longlegs, I am finally a sophomore. I returned last Friday. I was very sad to leave Lock Willow, but it is good to return to something familiar. Some changes have taken place. I'm rooming with Sally and Julia. We each have our own little rooms and we share a study. This year, Sally is running for class president. I think that she is going to win. I've also started studying chemistry. I still don't know much about it. It's the most unusual subject. I'm learning so much, Daddy, and it's all thanks to you. Your affectionate orphan, J. Abbott.
Chapter 4. Independent Judy.
March 24th. Dear Daddy Longlegs, so many good things have happened to me. I am sure that I don't deserve everything I have. I have great news! I won the short story contest that the monthly holds every year. There is a $25 prize, and it's mine. I still can't believe it. What is even more special is that usually the winners are seniors. But I am only a sophomore. Maybe I will become a successful author after all. I have some other great news too. Next Friday, Julia, Sally, and I are going to New York. We are going to stay in a hotel and go shopping. On Saturday, we are going to see Hamlet at the theater with Master Jervie. I am so excited about it that I can hardly sleep. It will be the first time I have stayed in a hotel or gone to the theater. My head is spinning from the excitement. I'm really looking forward to seeing the play, especially because we've been studying it in class and I know all of the lines. Yours ever, Judy. April 7th. Dear Daddy Longlegs, I am here in New York. I am amazed at everything I see. Everything is so wonderful, but so confusing at the same time. I can't describe everything to you, but I guess you already know. You live here in New York anyway. Julia and I went shopping today. I saw the most gorgeous hats, and Julia tried on so many of them. In the end, she bought the loveliest too. I think it is amazing that she can buy any hat she wants without worrying about how much it costs. We also met Master Jervie on Saturday afternoon. He took us to a very nice restaurant. I ordered fish, but I didn't know which fork to use. I accidentally used the wrong one, but the waiter was very kind. He gave me another one. After we ate our meal, we went to the theater. It was truly amazing. I still remember every detail. The actors and actresses were marvelous. Oh, one more thing. Master Jervie gave us each a beautiful bunch of flowers. There were lilies of the valley and violets. Isn't he the kindest man? I'm starting to like men more and more because of him. Yours with love, Judy. May 4th. Dear Daddy Longlegs, we had a sports day last Saturday. It started out with a very cheerful parade, but Sally and I weren't in the parade. We were waiting to take part in our events. And guess what? We both won! Sally won the pole vaulting event, and I won the 50-yard sprint, 8 seconds. It was all very exciting, and we felt so good at the end of the day. Everyone was very tired, and so we all went to bed very early that night. I love you always, Judy. June 4th. Dear Daddy, I have been very busy these days studying for my examinations. They begin tomorrow. The weather here is so beautiful that it is very difficult to stay inside. But I must continue to study hard. Once the examinations are finished, our vacation will be here. I can't wait! Can you guess what I'm planning to do this vacation? Lock Willow? Sally and her family? Nope. I am going to the seaside to tutor a girl and her younger sister. I will teach them English and Latin. Each month I will be earning $50. Please don't object to my plan. I am becoming very independent thanks to you. I hope that you have a wonderful summer, Daddy. Yours always, Judy. June 10th. Dear Daddy, this is a very difficult letter for me to write to you. You have given me a wonderful opportunity, but I feel that it is my responsibility to start supporting myself this summer instead of you sending me to Europe. I feel very strongly about this. It is so kind of you to offer me such an opportunity, though. 4 days later. I was about to post this letter to you when I met Master Jervy. He has invited me to Europe as well. He said it was an important part of my education. I almost said yes, but one thing stopped me. He was almost trying to force me to go. I refuse to be forced to do anything. I want to make my own decisions independently. To repay you for your kindness, I will become a wise and independent woman. Yours ever, Judy.
Chapter 5. The Surprising Truth.
June 19th. Dear Daddy Longlegs, can you believe this? I can't. I have finally finished college and received my degree. Thank you so much for the roses that you sent me. I carried them in the graduation procession. Now I am at Lock Willow doing nothing but writing my book. Master Jervy is coming to Lock Willow sometime in August. I wish you would come, but I know that will never happen. Judy Abbott, Bachelor of Arts. July 24th. Dearest Daddy Longlegs, I have had such a wonderful summer. I have been writing as much as possible. I just wish that each day were longer. Then I could write even more. This is going to be a real book, Daddy. I'm so excited about this one. I have such a wonderful place to work here at Lock Willow. I have the best scenery in the world, lots of food, a wonderful bed, and all the paper and ink I need. I think I'm the luckiest girl in the world. Still wishing I could meet you, Judy. September 19th. Dear Daddy, I need your advice on quite a serious topic. I would rather see you to talk to you about it. I'm worried that your secretary will read this letter, and I want to keep it private. Please, let me come and see you. I am very unhappy right now. Judy. October 3rd. Dear Daddy Longlegs, I just received your message. I'm so sorry to hear that you have been ill. I wish I had known before I bothered you with my problem. I will tell you my problem in this letter, but please burn it after you read it. However, before I tell you, I'm sending you a check for $1,000. I sold my book. It will really mean a lot to me if you take this check. I already owe you so much, which I will only ever be able to repay with my affection and gratitude. This is just a small token of how appreciative of you I am. Here is my problem. You know that I have always cared very deeply for you. But now, there is another man who I care for even more. He is Master Jervy. I know you don't know him, but I wish you did. He is so kind and generous, and we get on extremely well together. We always laugh about the same things. When I'm not with him, I miss him more than anything else in the world. Have you ever loved anyone? Unless you have, you can't know how I feel. I truly care for him, but I have refused to marry him. I couldn't tell him I am an orphan. And I feel that someone like me has no right to marry into a family like his. If he married me, he would regret it. I could never explain my reasons to him. That was about 2 months ago. I've been heartbroken ever since then. I haven't heard from him at all. But Julia told me that he was very sick with pneumonia. I guess he's very unhappy. What do you think I should do? A very confused Judy. October 6th. Dearest Daddy Longlegs, I'm excited to finally have the chance to meet you. 4:30 next Wednesday afternoon? I won't forget. I've been in New York 3 times now, so I'll be able to find the way. I can't believe that I'm going to meet you. I've thought about you for such a long time that you seem hardly real. Thank you for letting me visit you when you are not that well. Affectionately, Jerusha. Thursday morning. My very dearest Master Jervy Daddy Longlegs Pendleton Smith. I can hardly sleep these days because I'm so happy and excited. Yet, I feel terrible that you have been so sick. Please get better really fast. I'm worried that I only dreamed what happened yesterday. We only had 30 minutes together, but I will remember every detail. I am a very different girl now compared to the girl who left Lock Willow yesterday morning. I got up early yesterday, ate breakfast by candlelight, and took the train to New York. The whole time I was singing to myself, "You're going to see Daddy Longlegs." I came to your house, but I was almost too afraid to go in. Your butler was very kind to me when I entered your home. I waited excitedly in the drawing room. Then, your butler showed me into your room. It was quite dark, so I couldn't see very well at first. I first noticed the fire in the fireplace. I looked over and saw a large chair. A man was sitting there. I looked more closely and realized it was you. I thought that it was a joke that Daddy was playing. You started laughing at that moment and asked, "My dear Judy, didn't you guess that I was Daddy Longlegs?" I couldn't say anything at that moment. So many things went through my mind. I thought of so many clues that could have told me that Daddy was you. What shall I call you now? Daddy? Jervis? Jervy? Please let me know. Our 30 minutes together passed by too quickly. I wanted to stay longer, but your doctor wouldn't let me. My trip back to Lock Willow was a strange one. I was in a daze the whole way. But I am so happy. I miss you so much, but I know we will be together soon. We belong to each other now. I feel so happy that I finally belong to someone. I will always do my best to make you happy. I am yours forever. Judy. P.S. I have never written a love letter before, but isn't it strange that I know how?